Tell me, darling, could we run away? We could hide away by the cactus desert blue. I can see it just a mile away from this crowded place. I could lay there next to you.
Dustin Diamond, they announced that he had stage 4 cancer, and then just a few weeks later, he died from it at the age of 44.
Because I think in reality, I think he was just a very quiet, introverted person, really.
Rest in peace.
Hey friends, welcome back to our YouTube channel, Best Freaking Friends Forever. So today, we're going to talk about Saved by the Bell Season 3 and Season 4. So our trivia question for you guys today is, what was Mr. Belding's brother's name? So we'll talk about Season 3 first. So it ran from September of 1990 to December of 1990. And it had 18 episodes. Like for this Season 3, I really liked Jesse's song. Like I remember it from when it actually aired originally.
Mm-hmm.
Like Jesse having to deal with all that and Zach kind of comforting her and kind of, helping her through the whole, and they band together.
And Slater tries to get her to stop. Like he finds out that she's doing them.
Yep.
It is a good episode. It's, because she's pressured into studying for her exam and being in the band with the girls.
Yep. And she's trying to stay awake. She's trying to do everything, during the day or whatever and trying to keep awake to study.
One episode I thought was really fun was Miss Bayside. When Screech joins, he joins the pageant because Zach wanted to coach somebody, because remember he said he had watched all these pageants and he knew how to do it all and to make a winner, and so they found like fun and coached Screech.
Yep, so he had to coach Screech.
Yeah.
Well, and then Slater ended up.
Zach had everybody believe it because Screech got a black eye, and he had everybody in the school believe, and Slater did it. I liked the 1-800 or the 1-900 Crushed, mm-hmm. where Lisa gives like tips for other people in the school, and then Zach of course becomes a jerk about it, and he takes over and he has the whole school in like disarray, and they're all at each other, and Lisa's got to swoop in and save the day.
Wasn't that the episode too where Kelly's sister has a crush on Zach?
Yeah.
And Kelly ends up thinking that Zach reciprocates, and he doesn't. Worse to worse in that episode. So he totally forgets all of it, because he's supposed to be dating Kelly at this point, mm-hmm. and he totally falls head over heels with the nurse, and they go to, I think it was Slater and, let's see, I don't know if it was Lisa, but I think Slater and Jesse go to her, and they're like, look, he's head over heels for you or whatever, and so she kind of plays a little trick on him and kind of squashes that.
So my favorite episode of the whole season is the famous Belding boys. Mm-hmm. And Tony seemed to really like it too. And I think it's just because we get to see how special Mr. Belding, the principal, is to the kids. They always give each other a hard time, but this episode to me just showed that Mr. Belding is more of a parent figure in these kids' lives rather than just a principal.
Breaking up is on hard to do. They all kind of, I guess, get themselves in trouble with their women, mm-hmm. including Mr. Belding, and he kind of goes over to Zach's house and they're hanging out like they're they're buddies.
Yeah.
But I think it's cool how he, like in that episode, he tries to shield them from his brother and, telling them, well, he got sick, or, not the fact that he kind of ran out on them or kind of ditched them for, So he kind of tries to shield them and help them. But yeah, he gives them tough love because he knows that even Zach, like he gives him tough love, but he knows that he's capable and knows that he is able to do these things.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, in this season too, we get to meet Tori Spelling.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, she's Screech's girlfriend, and that's something else that's weird because one episode Screech is like madly in love with her, which I can't remember her name. Is it Violet?
Yes, Violet.
Yeah. He's madly in love with Violet. They have this great relationship. And then in the next episode, she's non-existent.
And he's back on Lisa.
Overall, I liked the season. I got through it pretty quickly. Now, season 4, I didn't. And we can get into that one now. Yeah, this one's longer. It was hard. Let's see. The first episode, they have a ball, right? Yeah. And I feel like this season starts out just like last season. So like in season 3, they're at prom and Kelly can't go because she can't afford a dress. And then Zach has prom outside for her at the picnic table.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this season, they have another dance, but they're breaking up.
Yep, because she's met a guy working at the Max.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's like another thing. She had been seeing Zach, talking to Zach, had known Zach for years, and then she meets this guy for what? 2 episodes or whatever, however long she'd been working with him, and breaks up with Zach. Like that. I mean...
And her acting is so crazy because she's like, like you could tell she wasn't crying. She was like, I love you, but I really like him. And yeah, which we get into that too later, and we get to see him again later in the season.
Well, and not to be mean, but Kelly kind of gets what she deserves.
I think so.
In a way.
I don't like Kelly.
Well, I mean, I don't hate her, but I just feel like,
everybody else has a personality. Which we talked about this. Everybody else, like, Zach's the goofball, the preppy kid, the getting in the trouble. Like, he has a personality. Slater's the jock, the muscle. He has a personality. Jesse's the girl that everything has to be perfect and women's rights and let's save the environment. Yeah. And so she has a personality. Lisa's the rich girl who loves fashion. I really like Lisa. I know she has that kind of snooty attitude at the same time, but out of all the kids, she has it the most together.
Well, and I feel like we get to see a lot more of her personality and her...
Yeah, this season.
Yes, I feel like we do.
Yeah. We get to see, a side of her, like, in the past, it's been superficial, but this season, we really get to see a side of her that I really enjoy seeing. Like in this season, they alternate. That's something else with the timelines and the storytelling is that they alternate them being at school and them being at Malibu Sands Beach Club. Right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And I like all those episodes. Like I don't have a favorite episode of this season because I like all of them. Mm-hmm. Like all of the Malibu Sands when they're working there. Because Zach meets Stacy Carosi, the boss's daughter, who comes in from college, I think. She lives back east, so she comes back to work for the summer for her dad and is head of the employees. And so we get to see a lot of Zach and her. And at first she didn't like Zach. And at first they didn't get along. Yeah, he didn't like her. So, and then we get to see their relationship grow. Mm-hmm. And, obviously, and I think, I don't know. I like those episodes. I feel like there's more meat to them. I feel like there's more, I don't know.
Yeah, I like them too. There's a storyline there. That's why I think we like it, is that there's something there there's a story to be told, and that's what grasps us and what we like about it. And which Saved by the Bell is one of those shows that every episode's pretty much a standalone episode. You could watch one and not be like, oh my gosh, where's this show going? Where's it been? You can watch one episode and walk away. But with the Malibu Sands, I feel like if you watch one episode of that series, because I feel like that's kind of its own thing. Like it's a sub-series.
It is.
Yeah. And so if you watch one, you're like, wait a minute, I missed something. So you got to go back and watch the other ones to kind of catch up on what they're doing.
Yes.
Which the girl that plays Stacy is Leah Remini.
But she still has the spunk. Like that's because even if you've seen her in King of Queens, she acts the same. She's got the same spunk to her acting.
Well, and I guess it's just implied that they're all single while they're at the beach club, because at the end of the last episode for the beach club, Slater gets this mystery woman that's after him.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we figure out who she is because he saves her in the ocean, and then they go to the like hurrah party, like the end of the season party, and that's Denise Richards.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then she's supposed to be going to Bayside, so why did they not pull her back in? At least for a couple episodes, unless they did in the next season. Maybe they did.
Zach has surgery.
He does, because he hurt his leg, Mr. Belding. They were doing a basketball game, and he ran into Mr. Belding. And he freaks out because he's afraid he's going to not make it through surgery. And we see him and Lisa get really close in that episode, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, in the next season, there's another episode where they get super close. And Screech is not okay with that. So that's coming up too, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But then they do the fake IDs. I think another big episode for Kelly and Zach, well, for all of them, is when they go to the club for the 18 and older and they get fake IDs. Screech makes them fake IDs and they catch Jeff. Is it Jeff? I think it's Jeff. That's Kelly's boyfriend. They're 2 nights with another girl. The same girl, but another girl that's not Kelly. So he's basically cheating on her. And so they break up.
That episode was hard to watch because there's one part where Screech is making the IDs and they're going back and forth. And Zach's like, just get them done. Like, make sure you get the IDs done. And Screech says, I don't know if you remember, but he goes, what are they going to do when I'm gone?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, man.
I felt that too, and I was like, oh, like, man. Like, right, yeah. Because
of all of them, he's the first to go in real life. It's like...
yeah. Well, and they're really, I mean, and it's sad because and it kind of upsets me too, speaking to that, because now they're like, oh, he was such a good actor, blah, blah, blah. Well, you were jerks to him when he was there on the set. You didn't talk to him. Mm-hmm. I mean, he even said he hasn't talked to Mark Paul, who plays Zach, in 16 years, or since he was 16. They're in their 40s now.
Right.
He was 41 or 43. This was 41 when he did this interview that he said he hadn't talked to him since he was 16 years old. And now they're coming out, oh, he was such a good friend, blah, blah, blah. No, you didn't even talk to him.
Right. Yeah.
He was so much younger than them that I think it was hard for him to have a relationship with them in real life because he was so much younger.
The episode Pipe Dreams, episode 11, that one really upset me because they have the oil spill. They strike oil, so then the school board is like, oh, great, we can make some extra money, build a great school. Even Zach's all about it, and Jesse's like, no, this isn't right for the environment. And, she stands up for what's right. And then Zach goes and finds the duck that he had saved previously, and the duck died. That's so sad.
Mm-hmm. Well, it took that for him to wake up to the whole and go into, and that's a pretty cool scene when he goes in front of the board and goes up against the oil guy that's presenting.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a well acted scene too, where he sprays the stuff with oil and things like that. And even the guy, I think it was it Kelly that says, at least you can wash that off and it's not going to kill you.
Earlier, Shelley asked the trivia question, what is Mr. Belding's brother's name? And the answer is Rod Belding. We thank you for joining us and talking about Saved by the Bell, something that Shelley and I grew up with. Did you grow up with this? Did you not? And you're kind of intrigued to watch it now? Go ahead and watch it. It's on Hulu. That's what we're watching it on. Then the next time we talk about this, we're going to talk about season 5. And we will talk about the show overall and some of the backstories and things like that. So I am Tiffany. This is my BFF, Shelley. Join us next time, friends, for another great episode.